What's that? Turns out Lelouch's Zero Requiem completely failed. So what's up guys, Foxen here. Sounds like the world needs Lelouch again. So you have the second trailer that just dropped for the Code Geass R3 movie. A lot of info is coming out with this one. In case you're just tuning in, this is going to be only one Code Geass final movie instead of a Code Geass Season 3. By the way, this is technically a sequel to the Code Geass recap movies, instead of a sequel to the previous two Code Geass seasons. The reason this is worth mentioning is just because they've done a couple of changes to the Code Geass story in these movies. I did already do a past video going over all the major changes. This includes Shirley being alive now. Yeah, I'm not joking. But anyway, as for this new Code Geass trailer, my shot-by-shot breakdown is coming up. Before I get to that, just note that this Code Geass Resurrection of Lelouch movie just got a release date confirmation. It'll be debuting in Japan in February 9, 2019. Yep, I said Japan. Fortunately, Funimation got the rights to the previous Code Geass recap movies. So, finger crossed that Funimation does a limited theater showing for this too. I mean, so far their theater showings have been successful. The My Hero Academia movie just brought in $5 million in US screenings. I believe that even beat out Kimi no Nawa. So come on Funimation, I will definitely be there on day one. Anyway, as for the shot-by-shot breakdown, this Code Geass trailer starts with Suzaku's voiceover plus some Japanese text. It mentions 2 years after the Zero Requiem, which, wait a moment, didn't the original movie summary mention this being 4 years after the Zero Requiem? Could it be that they're changing things up again? Anyway, the important message here is regarding Lelouch's Zero Requiem. Suzaku tells you that Zero's grand world peace plan has now collapsed. Do notice here how Suzaku explicitly mentions 2 years after Lelouch's death. So yes, at least in this alternative Code Geass timeline, Lelouch is very much dead. Either that, or at the very least, Suzaku isn't aware of Lelouch's endless fun times with C2 in Australia. Next up, some world flags. Perhaps they saw the countries united in peace after Lelouch's death. Following this, some familiar birds that Code Geass loves to use throughout the openings. Same shot from the first trailer by the way. And ooh, what is this? Zero has his own cafe now. You could bet there'll be a tie-in here in Japan, so I definitely gotta go there. Then you got a shot of Zero. This must be Suzaku's high quality cosplay at this point. Next up, a brief shot of the Geass user from the first trailer. This trailer reveals his name to be Shario. More on him later. Next up, you got a first look at Nanali post time skip, all dressed up. They mentioned 2 years later, so at this point Nanali should be 17 years old. That is, unless they're sticking with the original 4 years later. If so, then Nanali should be 19 years old. Wow, time flies. Oh yes, and you could bet there'll be a new Nanali figure now. Right here, notice how Nanali is looking shocked. It may be connected with the following shot of this nightmare or machine nuking the area. Kinda looks like a nightmare with the rider and the open hatchet. It's a little small, so it's hard to tell. Perhaps that's Shaudio up there. Next up, Nanali and her escorts ambushed and perhaps captured. Suzaku's voice in the trailer mentions how these events are taking place in some new nation by the name of Judukstand, which is a nation of warriors. What's weird is that a lot of these nightmares look super old, especially the one on the right. Just guessing, the ringleader must be the white middle nightmare. That one must be the only one able to actually challenge Suzaku. You do get a better shot of this transformer looking guy later on. I can't really say the design of it is that interesting. It also looks like it's wearing some type of kilt or cloth on the nightmare's lower half. Talking about Suzaku, you got a purple nightmare here. This right here very much resembles Lelouch's old Shinkido nightmare. Rest in peace to that one, it got destroyed way too early. Naturally, it should be Suzaku up in there. So I am liking how this new purple nightmare looks like a combination of Suzaku's Lancelot and Zero's Shinkido. It even has a dual blaze there for Suzaku to take advantage of. I do wonder, does this one have impressive shield capabilities just like the older Shinkido had? Something tells me it doesn't. Unless they heavily simplified the controls, it may be too difficult for Suzaku. I'm still betting it has some auto shield functionality, especially energy shield similar to the upgraded Lancelot. Anyway, overall for these scenes, I have a strong feeling they're going to be for the opening act of the movie. It'll be something like this roughly put up together group that tries to kidnap Nanali. Then Suzaku comes in and kicks her asses. In other words, I don't think these guys are the main villains, but it will help to show that the world isn't peaceful a couple of years later. Next up, Suzaku in the nightmare wearing Zero's outfit. Right here, it looks like the inside of the nightmare doesn't look too advanced. I don't spot any complex shield controls at all. Just thinking about how the events played out, perhaps Lelouch got off easy just dying. In comparison, Suzaku was left over to play the role of Zero until his own death. Next up, this new green-haired dude by the name of Shestal. So one of the new characters for this final Code Geass movie. Good chance for him to be a villain too. Perhaps he's the one piloting that new White Nightmare. I'm gonna go ahead and take a random ass guess. Chastel may be a top warrior from this new warrior nation. Next up, another new fellow. And my god, his look just screams henchman. Although he could be another candidate for the guy piloting the new White Nightmare. Or the second best nightmare from the first group. Right now I'm thinking Suzaku takes him out no problem. Following this, a familiar face returns with C2. Similar scene from the first trailer by the way. You've already seen her all bloody from one of the movie visuals. C2 is of course going to play some huge role in Lelouch's revival. Although there still is that theory going around that C2 gave Shirley a Geass contract. And that is how Lelouch is going to be revived. Either way, just hoping they finally tell you C2's real name in this finale. Come on, please let us know, it's been like a decade. Finally, the money shot for this Code Geass movie trailer. Suzaku freaking stripped and chained up in someone's kinky dungeon. I'm really thinking that this new Geass user is gonna come in early and take out Suzaku when he's distracted with Nanali's kidnapping. Without Zero, C2 is gonna try to seek the only person who could stop this mess. Of course, leading into Lelouch's grand revival. So when Suzaku and friends can't handle it, it's time to bring back our huge moneymaker. And of course, let me mention it, what everyone is talking about. This final Code Geass movie sequel is a total cash grab. Let's just hope that it's not only that. They are trying to have their cake and eat it too with this whole alternative reality type of deal. But still, I'm really hoping this movie doesn't taint the original ending. I'm also hoping that Lelouch's revival isn't saved until the very end of the movie. Please, don't make him like Superman in the Justice League movie. Lelouch is gonna be in this, so make him come in like halfway. So let me ask you, how hyped are you for this Code Geass final movie? To be honest, as a huge Code Geass fan, I'm talking about someone who used to rewatch Code Geass yearly. Personally, my excitement dropped like a rock after finding out this was only one Code Geass movie, and not a sequel season. I mean, think about it, they built so much hype around this with the 3 recap movies. Then it's just gonna suddenly end in February. Another 24 episodes could have really added to the Code Geass lore, as well as having more potential for something truly memorable. But now, only one movie. They haven't yet released any information about the length of the movie. However, anime movies rarely go over an hour and a half long. So this movie is going to be roughly the length of 4 normal episodes, give or take. By the way, the official website and trailer released a list of returning character voice actors. Of course, you got a bunch of past ones returning, including Suzaku, C2, and Nanali. But that's weird, who's missing from this list? Oh sure, Lelouch is totally not in this movie. It's funny that they're still trying to hide him, even though the freaking title is Resurrection of Lelouch. Again, they're going with the whole Superman type of deal, or Tai from the recent Final Digimon Tri movie. As for the new characters coming in, you got the one that appears to be the big bad Geass villain. I mentioned his name was Shadio. Here's a bit of his anime work. Shoyu from Haikyuu. Shinichi from SAO, also known as Lifa's lover. The pharmacist from Overlord. The name Banana Cat from Banania. So yeah, not anything too amazing so far except for the first one from Haikyuu. In other words, him as a Code Geass villain is going to be a huge role for him. Next fellow up, the green haired dude from the recent trailer, Chastel. Here's a taste of his anime work. Yuno from the recent Black Clover. Yuga from Trigger's Kiss Knifer. Ryo from Kuroko's Basketball. And here's a huge one, Yujiro from SAO Alicization. Now you got my attention. Next up, new third character, the henchman looking guy. This is Bitel. He's done Ganjo from Bleach, Genta from Detective Conan, Iruka Sensei and Tobi from Naruto, and Zoro from One Piece. So that's the in-depth breakdown. Let's see how this Code Geass movie turns out in 2019. But anyway, more important, let me hear from you now. Question of the day. How excited are you for this new Code Geass project? Is anyone hyped now after the second trailer? Should this Code Geass sequel even be made? Anyway, definitely give a colossal thumbs up and subscribe. If you're new to the channel, I put out 5+ anime videos here every week. This includes in-depth anime news coverage like this one. Upcoming videos this weekend include my reviews for the ReZero 1-hour theater special, and also the 1-hour SAO Season 3 first episode. So hit that bell notification, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.